Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your words aren't just describing your life, but they're actually creating it? That's the huge idea at the heart of Florence Scovel Shinn's classic, The Game of Life and How to Play It. She's saying that what we say out loud has this direct, almost architectural power over our reality. I mean, really think about it. You wake up, you stub your toe, and you mutter, "Oh, this is going to be a terrible day." And just like that, you've kind of set the tone, haven't you? Suddenly you're noticing every single red light, every little annoyance, and all of it just confirms what you said a few hours ago. Shinn argued this isn't a coincidence. It's a command that a part of your mind takes very, very seriously. And this gets us right to the core of the problem she saw, the completely unexpected consequences of our casual, everyday speech. You know, the little complaints, the offhand remarks we make without a second thought. Well, they often carry a much heftier price than we realize. What's really wild here is Shinn's warning that even our jokes aren't harmless. You know, when we say things like, I'm always broke before payday, or, I'm just a magnet for bad luck, it might feel like we're just venting, but she's saying that with every one of those phrases, we're actually planting seeds. We're giving our life instructions to keep producing those exact same outcomes. So how does this actually work? Well, according to Shinn's model of the mind, we have this incredibly powerful partner working behind the scenes, and it's hanging on our every word. She called this our subconscious mind. Shinn described the subconscious as this pure, raw power, kind of like steam or electricity. It takes its orders directly from our conscious thoughts and, most importantly, from the words we speak. And here's the kicker. It has zero sense of humor. It doesn't get sarcasm. It doesn't wonder if you're just kidding. It just hears the command and faithfully carries it out, period. Shinn tells this brilliant story about a woman who was just completely overwhelmed managing her big house, and she kept repeating this exact phrase over and over. "I'm so sick and tired of things, I wish I lived in a trunk." And sure enough, over time, her life circumstances shifted until she eventually found herself living in a tiny rented room with all of her belongings packed away in a trunk. She had literally spoken her smaller reality into existence. But here's the thing that makes this idea so compelling. It's not just a one-off concept from Florence Scovel Shinn. It's what you might call a mosaic truth. It's an idea that shows up again and again and again, across centuries, in different cultures and disciplines, from ancient wisdom all the way to modern psychology. We see this idea echoed in so many places. So, Shinn says our words direct the subconscious. Well, the ancient Stoics believed that our speech is what makes our inner reason real and tangible in the world. The book of Proverbs famously says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." And fast forward to today, modern psychology shows us this with things like cognitive reappraisal, the fact that we can change how we feel just by changing our self-talk, or self-efficacy, where believing and saying we can do something directly guides our ability to do it. All these different paths lead right back to the same destination. Our words are the rudder of our life. Okay, it's absolutely crucial to make a distinction here. This is not about pretending problems don't exist. It's not about plastering on a fake smile and chanting affirmations while your world is on fire. There is a massive difference between using constructive language and just being in denial. Here's the bottom line. Fake positivity denies reality. It says, "I'm not in debt," when the bills are piling up. Clean speech, on the other hand, is truth plus direction. It acknowledges the facts. Okay, I have this debt. But then it speaks toward the solution. I am building financial freedom, and I am clearing all of this debt. See the difference? One empowers you to act, the other just forces you to pretend. All right, let's make this super practical. How does this idea of intentional speech actually apply to your everyday life? Let's just look at 3 common areas where this really shows up. Think about it. At work, the phrase, "this is impossible," literally shuts down the problem-solving parts of our brain. It's a total dead end. But just by shifting that language to a question, how can we make this possible? It completely changes the game. It opens up creativity, it invites other people to help, and it points our brain toward finding a solution, not just staring at the wall. In our relationships, man, it is so easy to complain. "You never listen to me." But that phrase just puts the other person on the defensive, right? What if we spoke the outcome we actually wanted instead? Something like, "I feel so connected to you when we really hear each other." That shifts the whole focus from criticism to a positive shared goal. And this is a big one, our personal habits. Our self-talk really defines the game here. If you call yourself undisciplined, that's an identity statement that just reinforces failure. But reframing it to, I am building consistency, acknowledges that it's a process, it gives you credit for the effort it putting in, and directs your attention to the positive path you're actually on. So, how can you start applying this right now, like today? Well, here is a super simple, actionable practice you can use anytime, anywhere. We'll call it the daily word reset. It's a simple three-step process. First, just notice. Become aware of a negative or limiting phrase you use all the time. Maybe something like, I never have enough time. Second, pause. Don't judge yourself for it, just acknowledge the habit. And third, reframe. Consciously swap that phrase with one that points to a solution, like, I am making the most of my time today. That's it. Notice, pause, reframe. All right, let's just recap the big ideas from all this. First, your casual words have real creative power. Second, your subconscious mind is a literal servant that takes you at your word, no questions asked. Third, this isn't some new age fad. The power of speech is a timeless, cross-cultural truth. Fourth, remember that clean speech is not fake positivity, it's truth mixed with direction. And finally, you have the ability to start resetting your words, and by doing that, resetting your world, starting today. So this brings us to the final and really the most important question. Knowing that your word is your wand, what new reality will you start speaking into existence starting right now? If you want to explore more timeless principles just like this one, be sure to check out the next explainer in our Classic Mosaic Truth playlist.